Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world. I appreciate the moderators that are available this early Tuesday morning in the Kingdom of Thailand. I really appreciate you guys. I would like to remind the audience as we go through and you join the chat, and moderators, you could remind them of this too. If you could drop your location, if you'd like to let us know where you're viewing from, I think it adds more value to the chat so people can see the diversity of viewers that are watching the stream. Mr. Mitch, thank you. Good morning. So, Mr. Mitch, if the people that join the chat late, if you could just maybe have a little text that you can copy and paste there to let them know we'd like to know where they're viewing from. I'd appreciate that. So today we have a special guest. He's a new Thailand vlogger here in the Kingdom of Thailand. I had the privilege to get to know this gentleman. He visited my bar. And really great guy. So I think he's got an interesting story, and I'm anxious to hear what he has to say about his experience here in the Kingdom of Thailand, and also his motivation for starting a YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, it's a grind, man. It's a real grind when you start a YouTube channel, and to try to get up to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view hours so that then you can get some assistance with the YouTube algorithms to help your channel grow. But getting to that 1,000 subscribers is definitely a grind. It takes a lot of hard work. But I got to give kudos to James, Chocolate Man in Thailand. I've been watching some of his stuff, and although he's relatively new to the Thailand vlogging world, he's definitely got some skills on his photography, his channel art, his content of his page. And I think what's infectious about his channel particularly is himself. He's very positive and has a good outlook on life, and just comes with a lot of respect for the Thai people. So this is why I wanted to kind of bring him on and get a perspective that maybe some of us haven't heard. He's African American, and I've gotten a lot of questions already about, is it true that Asian people are a little bit more discriminatory against black skin folk? A lot of people say that they're discriminatory against Farang, the white skinned foreigners as well, just because we pay a little bit more admission price for certain events than the Thai citizen does. And I've explained in the past that I know that wouldn't work in Western countries. You can't charge someone more based on where they're from. But this is Thailand, right? And I look at it like we still get a great price on everything here. Nothing's expensive, and the Thai people get a discount. So it's just a different perspective on how to look at it. I don't look at it as discrimination and we're going to charge you more kind of thing. Now, some people do look at it that way. So I'd be interested to get James's perspective on that as well. So Carl from Norway, thank you guys. Paul Coos, good morning. Good afternoon from New Zealand in the house. Okay. And Mr. Mitch is near Seattle, Washington right now. Okay. Thank you guys. So without further ado, I'm going to bring this gentleman on here. Let's see what's going on with the Chocolate Man in Thailand. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
How's it going? James Casino, Chocolate Man in Thailand. How y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, buddy. Good to see you this morning.
What's up, room? How's everybody doing? How's everybody out there?
Where are you streaming from this morning?
I am in Pattaya, Thailand today. Nakula, North Pattaya.
Right. Awesome.
Gotta say it right. I don't want to get him mad. So Pattaya.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, a lot of people got nothing better to do with their life than pop onto these various YouTube channels and give their 10 cents, right? It kind of gets my goat. You got a lot of successful channels here, CB Media, No Time to Be Sad, Simon, Johnny. I mean,
all good guys.
And they all get the same thing. Oh, you're not saying it right. It's like
all the time. Pattaya, it's Pattaya.
Yeah. And if you listen closely to Thai people, it's Pattaya,
There you
right?
go. Oh, that's
But
even, yeah, that's
but
even
hey,
deeper.
we we don't sweat the small stuff, right? We don't claim to be perfect. We don't claim to be experts on Thailand or the Thai language. So it's funny how people like to nitpick at little things, but that's just part of the world of social media in general, right? I mean, people got to
Absolutely.
criticize. So anyway, give us a little background, James. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Washington State, but don't ask me anything about it. I haven't lived there in like 25, 26 years. So joined the military right out of, well, maybe about a year after high school. I joined the military and I was gone. Never looked back. So,
So where all did you go when you were in service?
oh boy, I started out in Colorado, then Florida, then Korea, then back to Florida, then South Carolina, Guam, and then finally I retired out of Hawaii. So yeah, it was a good run. It was a good run.
Sweet, man. Well, thanks for your service. Appreciate it. So, can I ask you, how old are you, James? You're a pretty young man.
Yeah, I'm old.
Now, compared to who? Compared to who?
uh,
You start
right.
calling yourself old, then I'm going to be in the grave, right?
Well, see, now if I told you my age now and you were older than me, that would just be offensive.
Okay, we'll skip that. We'll skip that. It's not important information. So, tell me
I'm like
about
an old lady with that.
right. When did you first come to Thailand, and like what made you come here? Was it your service connection, or did you come as a civilian?
So it's a small service connection. I had a friend who'd been coming here for a couple of years, and in 2008, he's like, "Look, man, stop messing around. Okay, save a little money," because back then I had no money. He's like, "Save a little money. We're going to Thailand." I was like, "All right, man, you finally convinced me." So 2008, I made my first trip to Thailand, and oh, wow, mind
Two,
blown.
2008. And how long were you
Yep.
able to stay? Was that just a
Oh, we're
tourist
only,
trip?
yep, just only like a week, and I flew all the way from the Eastern United States. So came in for a week and then flew back. And man, it was whirlwind. It felt like we were here for 5 minutes. That's how fast the trip went by.
Right. So, your first impressions of Thailand after that first week, like what were you thinking when you got back home?
Uh, when can I go back? But of course, back then I'm still young in the military and no money. And I was like, it's going to take me forever to get back there. So yeah,
Right, right. All right. So, now, how long have you been in Thailand on this stretch that you're on right now?
2 years. 2 years. So I came here on a student visa because I have VA, GI Bill, and there's a school up in Bangkok that was willing to accept my GI Bill so I could go to school. So I came over on a student visa, which was pretty interesting, and did school for about a semester, and then I got lazy. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna stop messing around. Went back on a tourist visa, and I've been hanging out ever since. So
Sweet, sweet, sweet. So, do you have any family connection at all here, or is it just friends that live here in Thailand
just
that you associate?
just friends. Yep, no family. I got a super small family, so just my mom's back in Washington. That's it. So very very small family.
Sweet, sweet. So, when did you start your YouTube channel? I was going to go back and look at the date of some of your first vlogs, but I
Yeah,
dropped the ball.
I think I started it in May, but I didn't really post a serious like a video that I actually put any effort into. I did not post that until I was just looking at that today. I think the end of September was the first time I posted like a legitimate video. I had some other random cell phone videos that I put up earlier, but yeah, I would say the end of September would be the birth of my channel.
Wow, wow, wow. That's awesome. So, what motivated you to start a YouTube channel? I mean, it's like to me, it's the ultimate social media. I mean, we all have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. But when you start a YouTube channel, I mean, you're putting it all out there, right? I mean, like I say, the camera doesn't lie. And so, what motivated you to actually want to get in this deal?
So I'm watching No Time to Be Sad. I'm watching Ride for Kicks. I'm watching Teacher Time in Thailand. I'm watching, Bad Badger retired in Thailand. One of my new guys. But yeah, I'm watching these other vloggers. I'm like, I can do that. That looks like fun, and I have no financial goals in mind. It looked like fun. I was like, let me try this out, see if I can do it. And I really wanted to force myself to learn video editing. I'm a photographer. I do that. That's my main thing. I really like doing photography. And I was like, video should not be a stretch for me. So I got into the video thing, editing, and I'm like, let me do some YouTube and see if I can mix it up. So the goal for me eventually is to get a more cinematic look to my YouTube channel rather than just vlogging. I want to make actual films, but that's up the road. Still getting
So
the skills together.
you did have some background in photography previously?
Yeah. I've been doing photography for the last 4 or 5 years and just improving my skills there. Uh, that's been a lot of fun for me, and now I'm ready to try more video stuff.
Well, there you go, guys. That's the difference between someone like me who had absolutely no skills, no tech, no photography, no nothing, started a channel to kind of show my kids back home what life was like in Thailand. But, you feel like, you're obligated once you get some viewers and stuff. I got to improve. I got to step up my game. But you take a guy like James, he's already got some skills developed. And then so he's coming from, the first grand opening of his YouTube channel, coming from a perspective that he wants really good content. He wants the viewers to have a good experience when they watch his video. And a lot of us, like, we didn't really think that way. Like, we were just putting stuff out for better or worse, right? So that explains a lot to me, James, because I went back and watched some of your stuff, and I'm like, wow, I wish that I was putting that much time into my editing. And really, I mean, you've really got a good thing going on. And I think, Johnny, there is something happening, is the one that did my first interview on his channel and gave me some exposure, obviously, to his subscribers. But Johnny told me, and Johnny's got great channel, great channel. But he told me,
Oh
he
yeah,
said, he's like, teacher, the one thing that makes a YouTuber successful and likable to the viewers. He said, content, photography, all that stuff's important. But he's like, the number one thing that we all have that are successful is charisma. And I was like, yeah, in some of my earlier videos, I was kind of doing a little bit of acting. I was kind of trying to pump up the scene or whatever, but I wasn't being myself. And, Foreigner Joe's the one that told me, she's like, teacher, just be yourself, man. You don't need to do any of that hyping it up, right? So
yep,
I think
right
that's
there.
I think that's, like I told you, man, just keep being you and it'll work, because I'm watching your stuff, man. You come across real genuine, and you've got charisma, and you've got that positive attitude, So I feel like you're wanting to embed the viewer into, the video and show them the lifestyle here in Thailand, not just travel. Like you said, you do a lot of travel, which is very interesting, but also, the sense of community where you live or where you're staying at that time, and highlight some businesses around. And you said in your video that that's your way of giving back.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's almost a responsibility. If you're going to be here and you're going to talk about Thailand, then yeah, promote the country, promote the city that you live in. I have no problem promoting Pattaya because I'm completely impressed with their response to the world situation right now. They could have just tucked tailed and ran, but no, hey, let's do domestic tourism. Let's set up events and festivals, and let's get more domestic people down here. And, we don't have to be, what everybody perceives us to be. We can be other things. They like, yep, we're just going to flip it and do something different. And yeah, I'm completely impressed where I live. I'm so happy to be here right now. If you're ever going to be stuck in a country, this is where I want to be stuck at.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more there. It was really scary when I got the email from the U.S. Embassy in Bangkok, said, make arrangements to get to your home country now or shelter in place. It's like I was in a dream. Whoever expects to get that kind of an email, but at the same time, my decision was instant, right? I was like, well, I ain't going nowhere. So, obviously I have 4 daughters back home, 11 grandchildren. So I was in communication with them, especially early on with all the uncertainty and the fear. But I just reassured them. I'm like, dad's in a great place, man. Don't worry about me. Right. So I think it is, I feel that obligation, and that's the sense I got from you from the moment I met you. Like, you just carry yourself with respect. And to me, that's so important, and like you said, there is a stereotype out there. And look, I got nothing against the entertainment zones in Thailand. It's amazing. It's the best guys' night out ever. There's a lot of Thai people that are, working in those industries. I got nothing against it. I got no moral high ground here on my channel, even though my channel doesn't really highlight the nightlife scene. It's part of Thailand. But obviously that stereotype of the old man sitting around drinking beer from noon till midnight is not a representation of the expat community here in Thailand, right? There's a difference
Not even a little bit.
between that tourist that's coming over here for the entertainment, which is, let's keep promoting that too, guys. Like, we want those tours when that opens back up. And I think Pattaya City is going to be better than it ever was. It's going to dramatically change. You've seen that already with all the infrastructure of the beach. 2 years ago, my cadets in the academy were telling me that Pattaya Beach was going to be the new Miami Beach of Thailand. And I just laughed. And I'm like, you guys kidding me? Like, that's one of the worst beaches in Thailand. You know how it used to just drop off right after the umbrellas, right? There was no,
Yep.
it not a convenient beach at all. But now you look at it. See, that was 2 years ago before the construction even started. So these guys know what they're talking about. And I've got a lot of sources inside the Royal Thai Army that do have inside information about government plans for Walking Street, Soi 6, and all these other things. So I'm going to update that information. I'm going to do some research on it. But I don't think it's a doom and gloom. Like, we don't have to paint. We don't have to say Pattaya's never going to be the same, blah, blah. Look, man, obviously, like Lucas said on Ride for Kicks, of course, Pattaya's always been changing and evolving, but none of us have ever lived through a global crisis, health crisis. Almost said the wrong word there, but you know what I mean? None of us have ever lived through that. Pattaya hasn't lived through that. There's international tourist destinations all over the world that are suffering, just like Pattaya City and Phuket and Koh Samui, because but just because when the revitalization is taking place right in front of our eyes, you can see the development going on in Pattaya right now without the tourism, right? So they're gonna bring it back strong, and I think it's probably just going to be better for those tourists that want to come over and experience the nightlife and entertainment districts. I think it's just going to be better. It's not a doom and gloom. Oh, Pattaya is going to be dramatically changed. Well, it is going to be dramatically changed, but that doesn't mean for the worse. You know what I mean?
Exactly. 100%. And I don't understand the lack of optimism here. I don't get it. We're in a great place. We're having a good time. The country is trying to recover. I don't get what the doom and gloom does for you. I don't get it. The Thai people don't respond that way. They don't. Those are the people you should really be concerned about, and they don't have that outlook. It's just another thing for them to deal with, and they'll move on from it. It will pass. That's kind of their attitude. It will pass. They will move on. They will survive. I don't understand how we can come here and have a different attitude than that. I don't get it.
I couldn't agree with you more. So, do you stay in Pattaya long term? Like, tell people what are you in a condo, a 1-year lease? What do you got going on? Because I know you travel a lot, so you probably don't want to be anchored too much, right?
Yep, I don't. Right now, I am in a lease, but yeah, after watching guys like CB and other dudes out there who are constantly on the move, I'm thinking of downsizing a little bit after this. Maybe just doing like maybe a cheaper place, a smaller place, and it'll just be home base, and I'll stay on the road more. I've even been thinking about van life. I don't know if you could do van life in Thailand, but yeah, that's the new buzzword on YouTube, van life. But anyway, yeah, right now, currently in a 1-year lease here in Pattaya. This is my second lease. Had no issues with that. Just chilling out here in Pattaya. It's a good home base, but yeah, I like getting on the road, and I've been picking that up lately, renting cars. I want to buy my own car and start moving around more. We'll see what happens.
Hey man, I appreciate that. You mentioned CB Media with Chad, awesome
That
guy
dude is wild.
from Atlanta, Georgia, man. And there's another guy that had professional skills in photography, right? Going to big events, car shows, and really responsible for turning out high quality photography, right? And so, it just sets an example for all of us to follow. And look, he's got charisma, right? I mean,
absolutely.
No matter how good your content is, they gotta like the host, right? They gotta like the channel creator. And I just think that a lot of us, because we didn't have that experience, we weren't looking at our channel through the eyes of the viewer. You know, we're just kind of doing our thing. And like you said, some of us have no interest in financial gain. We more do it for a hobby that we enjoy. But then after you get involved and you get all this encouraging feedback from all these wonderful people all over the world, you feel a sense of responsibility. You know, you're like, wait, man, shit. You know, it's not about me. It's about the viewers. And that's why I tell people constantly, this channel is for you. You know, when I get those comments that like, thank you, teacher, for bringing me into Thailand. Like I miss it so much. People are stuck in their home countries all over the world. And so there's value into what we're bringing, you know? And so, you know, I'm still learning. I got a lot to learning to do, trying to scale some of my vlogs down to shorter content, modeling after CB. Not that I'm ever going to be Chad, because kudos to him, right? But you have to be a learner, right? You have to be a learner and a consumer, and then modify what you're doing to try to say, okay, I want to be more captivating to the audience. And like you mentioned, you want to bring more cinematography. You want to have more movie making, So tell us what your ideas are. Are you talking about upgrades in equipment, or what do you think is necessary to really create cinematic video for the viewer?
Yeah, using a higher grade of equipment, and I already have the equipment. I'm just too lazy to go out and use it. I have a gimbal. I have a nice mirrorless camera that takes high quality 4K video, but I don't go out and use it because it's so easy to just have your phone or your GoPro with you and just vlog away. So, you have to go out with more commitment. You have to go out with a plan. Story is everything. You have to tell, if you're going to do that stuff, you have to tell a story that people can get engaged in. So I know how to do it. I'm just lazy to do it. You have to sit down and write a script, have an idea, have a plan, go out there and really make things happen if you want to do that type of stuff. And I watch some other guys on YouTube, and they've got it nailed. They know exactly what they want to accomplish. They're barely even in the video. It's all about the content itself. So we'll see if I go that way. What I really need is my viewers to tell me what they want. And
I love that. I love that, man. I tell you what, you got to have thick skin in this business, right? Because unfortunately, there are those people out there that have some deficiencies within themselves, right? So somehow they get their jollies dropping in, and I don't mind critique. I don't mind. I appreciate critique. There's a difference between critique and just an all-out insult, right? But I like how you pointed that out in your video, where you're like, look, man, if you hated it, give me the thumbs down, but please drop me a comment. Let me know what I can do, and maybe I can fix it. I mean, that is such a good perspective for a vlogger, because you're going to get a lot of that. And of course, if it's an actual troll, right, all they're trying to do is get you to respond. And early on, guys like Foreigner Joe are the ones that told me, look, mute that person, don't respond. Block, ignore. That's the legitimate trolls, right? Because all they're trying to do, if you respond, they win, right? So, but there are legitimate people. I don't just like block every comment, right? There's legitimate people. Hey, teacher, the mic wasn't that great, or your intro was too long, or something. Man, that's all good stuff, because ultimately the channel is for the subscriber, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me. Go ahead.
No, after you.
I was going to ask you, tell me about your other experiences in Southeast Asia. Have you visited any of the other neighboring countries?
Oh, yeah. I've been all over Southeast Asia. I actually lived in the Philippines for 3 years, which was good times. I loved it there. It was great in the Philippines. Only it's different in Thailand. Infrastructure, the way things that work in the Philippines are different. And that's why I eventually made my move to Thailand. But I still love the Philippines. I still love the Filipino people. And I've been to Vietnam. I've been to Malaysia. I've been to, Bali. I could talk about Bali all day. Bali, Indonesia, one of my favorite places in the world. That was almost another spot I lived in. But yeah, Southeast Asia is amazing. If you're not exploring Southeast Asia as a retired guy, I just don't understand it, man. Come give it a try. Come give it a try.
Hey, thank you for that, and I'm sure the viewers are going to appreciate that, because I'm not that much of a traveling man in Southeast Asia. I've been to Thailand and Laos. That's it, right? But I'm married. I got 3 dogs now, as you've seen the new baby dog. So, it's more difficult. My wife and I take week excursions. We went down to Hua Hin and Prachuap, and stuff like that, and come back home. But so I think that people really appreciate, an honest evaluation. So out of all those countries, and obviously you could have lived in any of them for a home base. Is any specific reason you chose Thailand? Because I know all of those countries are great, and like you said, Bali is. I can't imagine. I've seen a lot of videos done, but I think the cost of living is quite a bit more down there. So tell them why, with all your experience and military guy, the Filipino people are absolutely fantastic. Their English fluency is really good down there. So why would you choose Thailand?
Well, you can really put this in a spreadsheet sort of perspective, like Lucas does on Ride for Kicks. You could almost put it down like that. Like I checked all my boxes on which ones would work for me: cost of living, infrastructure, the ease of getting a visa, the people, the living accommodations, et cetera, et cetera. When you did all the math on that, that's why Thailand came up at the top of the list for me. And Bali, Philippines, all those are strong seconds. Maybe Vietnam could have been an option, but yeah, after you do all the math, after you put everything on a list and you check all the boxes, Thailand was the top of my list. And after 2 years of being here, it's been an awesome decision for me.
So you basically say you made an educated decision, right? You did your research, you had firsthand
Absolutely.
experience, and okay. So now look, I wanted to highlight this. I've kept it up there for a while, but I want you to know this is not just your average subscriber that you got here. This Robert Mack in Asia has tons of wisdom. Tons of wisdom and tons of experience here in Southeast Asia. So I just wanted to highlight that, brother. You just got an excellent, excellent subscriber. And if I were you, when you have time, you might add him as your moderator too. Great, great guy.
Okay.
And he also has a YouTube channel as well. So I wanted to highlight that. So guys, if you have any questions for James, we've kind of touched on some of his background and stuff. I'd appreciate questions in the chat, and we'll highlight those as we go. So let me see. Do you know where you're at on your sub count right now? I mean, you just started a channel in September. So do you know where you're at currently?
Well, after featuring a video with you and CJ, same but different, my subscriber count went up about 40 to 50 in about 2 or 3 days. So I'm thinking I'm around 140 now, maybe. Yeah, so that was a nice little bump. I appreciate that, brother. By featuring my channel, you got me a lot of love, and yeah, I won't forget that. Thanks a lot for that.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, like I say, I've explained to people many times that this is a hobby for me, and I'm a YouTube consumer. So when I come across somebody that's got a new channel, and I feel like, man, if they could just get that broader audience, this channel is going to bring so much, value and information and entertainment to my subscribers, then hell, I want to pass that baton off to my subscribers and say, look at this, man. You guys got to check this out, right? But because I'm a hobby vlogger, right? Now I want to stress this, okay? And I don't want to get on a rant or anything, but I just want to defend all of these successful channels here in Thailand, okay? And I don't have to name them. You guys know who they are, right? 20, 30,000 subscribers and up. These guys are busy trying to create the content and respond to all of the comments on their channel. Don't get offended and don't get thin skinned because these bigger channels aren't promoting other channels. Guys, they're busy. They're doing what they do, They're all wonderful people. And so, James, I think you're going to have the opportunity to meet a lot more Thailand-based vloggers. I understand you're getting ready to go on a trip. Is that correct?
Yeah. I believe so. We're gonna head down to Krabi eventually, and there should be some big time YouTube stars down there. So it'll be nice to hang out with those guys because at the end, they're just regular people. They're just regular guys, man. They have a strong following, but when you finally meet people, like when I finally met you, it wasn't like, oh, this guy's gonna be completely different. No, it's the same dude you see on YouTube, same guy, man.
Right.
And he's a personal person. When I met CJ, it just, yep, he's the same dude. He's on his channel, man. He's a good
I,
dude,
I love CJ, man. You can't get any more laid back and comfortable when you're around CJ. Like he's not going to rattle anything. He just got a calming effect about him, and it's just a genuine personality. And he's also got family here in Thailand, right? He's
Yep.
raising some
Yep.
kids. Now,
Yep.
I did send him an invite to join us this morning in this stream, but he told me, he said, "Well, teacher, I got to take my daughter to school, you know," and I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah. He
priority
is.
number one, don't worry about it." So I say, if we ramble long and you come on in the end after you get back from that errand, then you can pop on in. But yeah, great guy, and I really appreciate the two of you coming to the open mic bar. Look, my YouTube channel had no desire to be associated with a separate business. It's just kind of how my life evolved here in Thailand because of the crisis, and my trip to America with my wife got canceled. So, and our beaches were closed, and I couldn't teach school. So, I don't like too much downtime. I like to have a purpose. It makes me feel at home here. So that's the reason we made the investment. But I got to say, James, we've had a lot of great vloggers come by and spotlight the business. I mean, they care. They see that we're trying to do something for our community and give some Thai people some jobs. It's not about my wife and I, trying to make a big profit, obviously.
Mm-mm.
But your video, I gotta say, man, and I told people this already. It's just, I mean, the way you promoted it, and I love how you said, I'm going to put the Google map in the description box, but you can come down here and put your pin in his map. Dude, it's just genuine, but you just came across like if I was watching your channel and I had no idea who teacher was and what the open mic was, I'd be like, man, I'm gonna go check out that bar. So thank you so much for that, man. Just your way of doing it, and it's not any criticism to any of the other vloggers that have been by there, because we've had great promotion from a lot of channels, and appreciate each and every one of you. But I gotta say, James, just the way you did it, man, it just made me feel like I want to go there. I want to go there. That place is welcoming to everyone, and it just, I don't know, your style, man. It's just you being you. So I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Yeah. When I have a good experience, I'm excited about it and I'm happy to share my experience with the world. I had a good time at your bar. We had some good food. We had some good laughs, had a couple cocktails, got to meet Brownie. Brownie's the awesomest. And you got to go there just to meet Brownie. Brownie's so awesome. And just looking at the space you had, I was like, I got to tell people about this. You're concentrating more on a Thai base, but I think it would be fun to get a nice mix of Thai and expats there. But yeah, you're in the center of the world right now because your area is about to explode, just like your last video kind of hit on. So yeah, you picked a perfect time to start a bar, in my opinion, and that place is awesome.
Well, we are all inclusive. We want people from all over the world. We want our good South Koreans, our Chinese folks. We want them all. We want Russians. We want everybody. It's all about getting people together, and music is a unifying force, right? So that's why we have the theme of music, right? But you're right. We got to cater to our locals. First priority, long-term goals of a business, get established with your locals, right? Now, we do have a lot of foreigner expat locals. So, but we do want to use our venue because we got enough seating for about 80 people. And I believe it was Chuck. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. In fact, I know it was Chuck, but no time to be sad. He's like, teacher, when this is over and Thailand opens back up, right here, we're going to have the celebration. We're going to all come together. You've got the room for it, right? And so, yeah, man, we want to cater to all people, all backgrounds, all nationalities. And I don't care, lady boy, bar girl, I don't care. We're not going to judge people, right? As long as you don't interfere with the ambience and the happiness of the rest of the folk, you are welcome, man. And so I appreciate it because it's just something unique about the way you did that video. It just was very comforting, and like you said, you had a good experience and you wanted to reflect that, and you did, man. You did. So let's see if I can pick up any questions here for James. You just got another subscriber, Gary Williams.
Yep.
So
thanks for all the subs, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Let me see. Let's see. I have to see. Yeah. What? Is this one about North Korea? Many people looking for info coming out of Thailand. Thailand is like the new North Korea. Okay, I don't. Far cry from North Korea, right? That's really interesting.
We're a long ways from there, brother.
Yeah, long ways from that.
Yeah, life's too short for negativity. I saw that, Rob. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man. We will do large groups. Cater to large groups. You have a birthday party or a wedding or something. Absolutely. Robert Mack is words of
Yeah,
wisdom at
100%.
all time. Look at Mr. Mitch. All right. Yeah. Okay.
I got to meet this guy, Mister. He's funny.
Yeah. And Mr. Mitch is like the
Yeah,
all
he's a
time
comedy. He's a comedian.
the all time pro uh, moderator for YouTube channels. He mods for Foreigner Joe and a lot of different
Yeah,
people. So he's an awesome guy to have around. Okay,
he's
here
got
we
some
go.
great one-liners.
We got a question from Pagai. Pagai Sawadee. What is your
What I got?
YouTube content about? CM, but yeah, Chocolate
Chocolate
Man.
Man.
They're going to give you
Chocolate
that. Yeah,
Man. I like that.
give you that.
CM. All right.
Yeah, I like that.
It works.
CB Media, CM, right? So
Yeah.
there you go, brother.
All right. Sweaty crowd. Pie. Is it Pie Guy? I hope I'm saying that right.
I think it's
But yes, sir.
Pug guy.
Pug Guy. All right. Teacher's teaching me. All right. So yeah, basically the channel is more about travel, but I'm also including local content and definitely a vlog style. So I like to travel. Thailand is amazing. I've been traveling around Thailand lately, really getting to know the country, delving out farther and farther. Got another trip coming up next week, but I'm also doing local content and I'm also promoting local business as well because that's what you do. You give back. You go to local spots, have a good experience, and then talk about them online. And they get love. I get love. Everybody's happy.
Well, I just watched some of your most recent vlog from Kanchanaburi and the famous River Kauai and Hellfire Pass. So tell us, where else have you traveled to in Thailand?
I just went down to Koh Chang. Koh Chang, I'm saying it right? Koh Chang about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. Whoa, that island is amazing. I only spent 3 days there. I could have spent a month there. So beautiful. The waterfalls there, beyond epic. That video content's coming up real shortly. And also, I went to Koh Phangan. I'm not sure if I'm saying that one right at all. I think I always screw that one up. That was another beautiful island. Just amazing things going on. More waterfall. I love waterfalls and jungles. You'll see a lot of that. Waterfall, jungles, and dogs. My loves of life.
Right. Awesome, man. Awesome. So now you're planning a trip to the south, down in the beautiful Ottoman Sea,
Yeah.
near Krabi. Is that going to be your first trip to the south?
No. I just came from the south, but it will be my first trip in Krabi though.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, hanging out with those other guys out there should be a good time. But I'm looking forward to seeing all those crazy limestone formations, that beautiful water. It should be a great trip.
Awesome. Awesome, man. Awesome. So, Chuck, with No Time to Be Sad, one of his favorite areas is Kochong. I think you're supposed to
So,
say go, even though we say
go.
ko, it's go.
Okay, cop.
Thai people say
Yeah,
go,
right.
Gochong. But
Gotcha.
so
Right.
I've never been there. It's not far for me and my wife to go there. Did you drive? Did you take the ferry with you?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
I drove, took the the roll on, roll off ferry, which was only, it wasn't bad. It was like two something per way and drove out there. The roads are fine. They are a little tricky on a motorcycle. I think Ride for Kicks had a little issue with that. But yeah, it's probably better just to drive a car out there, but you can definitely get away with the motorbike as well. But yeah, the ferry, super simple. You just show up, buy a ticket, get up on the ferry, head over to the island, about a 30-minute ride, get over there, and there's a million hotels. It's a little slow right now, so now is the time to go really explore the island. But I'm telling you, the national parks there just blew my mind. National parks in Thailand in general, I'll just put this plug in for them right now, have been the cleanest, most organized, well-maintained places. And you're just gonna have to get over the fact that they charge us more money. It's not a big deal. It's completely worth it. Completely worth it.
Right. And now that you mentioned that, I've had some customers when I did the short video of this live stream announcement. I got some feedback from some great African Americans that are making plans on long stay, retirement, and otherwise here in Thailand. And a lot of them, basically pose the question to me, and they may not be able to watch live depending on their time zone, but they will watch the playback, James. So I really appreciate your perspective, because I used to work with a lot of teachers from Cameroon, and those teachers would tell me, now this was up in Isan, right? So there's
Right.
very few foreigners in some of those village areas, but they would go to markets and stuff like that, and they would hear Thai people say "Sidam, Sidam," right, which just means black. Dam
Mm.
is black and C means color, so Sidam, black color, and they kind of felt like maybe it was in a derogatory manner or something, but they weren't ever approached. I asked them, I said, "You ever have any confrontation with the Thai in regards to that?" Because, like you touched on, even the Farang, which is their word for the white skinned foreigner,
Yep.
some of them feel like that there is discrimination here because of that higher admission rate. Now, I kind of spin it around and look at it from the Thai perspective. And I'm like, look, I get 30 to 1 on my US dollar. There's nothing expensive here in Thailand. If I want to go see a Muay Thai fight when that opens back up, it may cost me 2,000 baht. That's $60. You're talking professional, Max Muay Thai in Pattaya City with international Muay Thai fight. $60, guys. Okay. So now the Thai person's going to pay around 500. Right. So to me, I look at it like the Thai person is getting a discount. So it's just a matter of how you look at it. But in regards to this, and the great African Americans and the black people all over the world that like to go to Southeast Asia, can you share your experience? Have you felt unwelcomed in some areas? Do you feel any sense of racism, or do you feel like Thai people judge you for the content of your character?
First off, I think racism is absolutely the wrong word to describe it. It's more, I don't like to say ignorance either, but that's kind of what it is. They just don't understand. So all you have to do is be engaging, be friendly, have the right attitude, and get to know them. Not everybody's going to want to know you, but that's true anywhere. But most ties, once you like smile at them, say hello to them. If you even try to use a little bit of Thai, you crack the glass and they just explode. They just, oh, you're just a regular person. You're just another human being, and you want to engage with me and you want to know me, and that's just, wow. Just go into it with the right attitude, the right positive attitude, and talk to them, and you will not have any problems. You will not have any problems, especially when you get away from the cities where they never see foreigners. They're going to be more curious than anything. And if you engage them, that allows them to get to know you, and it makes them more comfortable.
Hey, I appreciate that, man, because none of us can experience what we hear about, right? We can only have our own experience. So I appreciate that. So uh, you've never been made to feel uncomfortable or unwelcome in a Thai, like you say. I don't think ignorance is a bad word. Ignorance means just lack of knowledge of that particular subject, right? I'm ignorant in the tech world, right? So but ignorance is just because you don't have experience, and a lot of these Thai people don't have much experience with Farang or Sidam, right?
Sure.
So I think it's good to get your perspective, and I know you're a genuine, honest guy, and it's not a derogatory statement against Thai people to say, hey, I have been made to feel unwelcome, and this is what you could experience when you come to Asia. So I appreciate you giving people the honest, straight up. So have you ever had an incident, with the police or with taxi drivers or something where you felt like you was being taken advantage of or something because of your heritage or where you come from?
Oh, just the typical stuff that you're gonna find, and that happens to everybody. You're gonna get pulled over on a motorcycle, and they might try to come at you with a violation or something like that. And these are just get educated on this stuff before you come here, and you won't be a victim of it, or you'll know how to deal with that situation correctly. But I don't think I've been highlighted just because of my skin color, and I don't think I've been pushed around just because of my skin. Like, you definitely get some pointed fingers, or you'll get some strange looks, but nowhere near as bad as I've had in other countries in the world. I won't call it any specific countries, but it's nowhere as bad here. It's in Thailand. I never have those kind of problems. So I've had a
Uh,
great experience here. I feel
I,
very comfortable in Thailand. That's a big thing I want to point out, is I feel very safe here, except for maybe when I'm driving.
yeah, driving in Thailand is definitely a new experience for all of us. Wrong side of the road to begin with, and then the chaos that exists. But I do like the freedom to travel because you don't see people get pulled over like you. I mean, you do occasionally, but very rarely.
Very
So
rare.
they
Very
don't
rare.
invest all this money in these $70,000 SUVs, to follow grandma to work and see if she's using her blinker. You
Yes.
know what I mean? It's not
Yes.
over policed. Now they do have the
No.
checkpoint stations. Yeah, checkpoints. For checking, validity of your license, your insurance, whether you're drinking alcohol. So, but I like the freedom of navigation in this country. And here's one question I wanted to ask you because a lot of times in my videos, especially a motor vlog or something, you'll see a Thai family on one of these little 100cc Honda Waves, right? So you'll see dad driving, you'll see a little toddler standing on the floorboard in front of dad, hanging onto the bar. Then you got two kids behind him, and then mom on the back with the brand new baby. And I get these reactions from people in the West just because, we have been over-regulated, over-policed for so long that people's natural reaction is, "Oh my God, that's child abuse," right? What do you think? Well, like when you first came over here, or even now, like what do you think about that? I mean, the kids got no helmet on, stuff like that. Obviously, there's risk involved, but do you feel like that's a bridge too far? Like these people need to be more regulated and not allowed to do that, or should they continue to have their freedom?
I've been world traveling for, what, 15, 20 years now. So I've seen it all. And when you see things like that, first thing you need to remember is you're not at home. Second thing you need to know about Thai people is they're not worried about that stuff. Like, are you going to go out every day concerned about, I'm going to have an accident, so I need to wear my helmet. I can't put 5 people on a motorbike. They've been doing it their whole lives. They're not worried about it. They don't need, if we bring it up to them, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, why is that a concern for you? When you're raised like that, when that's how your life's always been, you don't really, you don't get tied up to it like we do. We've made it a big deal. But when we were kids, can you remember when we were kids drinking out of the garden hose and riding your bike without a helmet? We did the same thing, man. We did the same thing. It's so funny that we pointed out to them, but we were the same way. And then we decided that we had to be more cautious. But yeah, they don't worry about that stuff. And that's the way you need to look at it. Like, that's how they do it here. Don't be concerned about it.
That's the way I try to respond to people that have those fearful comments. I mean, I see it as a natural reaction for anybody that hasn't been in a culture like Thailand. But after you've been here a while, you actually, get a great appreciation for the freedoms that they have. That's just one example. But, they're able to have markets. If you want to sell chicken on the side of the road and make your living, then you can do that. No tax, no levy, no government regulation, no health department. Why? Because the people are smart enough to know how to cook a piece of chicken, right?
Exactly.
Now, you
It's
could
that
get
simple.
food poisoning, but you could get food poisoning at a five-star restaurant in
100%.
America, right? So things can happen anywhere. But I just think that, in America, we've had an erosion of our freedoms, like you was talking about when we was kids. When we was kids, we used to ride in the back of pickup trucks through town all the time, right?
All the
Now
time.
you'd be,
All the time.
mom and dad be thrown in jail, right? Child endangerment, right? So, and the seatbelt thing, right? Now most people are like, oh, you got to wear your seatbelt. That policeman pulled you over. That's your fault, buddy. You got to put that. It's a law, right? Okay, I get that. But you slowly lose your freedoms by accepting these things for the purposes of safety, one should say. Now, I understand the highway patrol has to pick children up off of the pavement after a bad accident, right? I get it. I get it. But, you just because there's always going to be risk and danger, assumed risk, how much freedom are you willing to give away? I remember when I was a kid, I'm a little bit older than you, James, but even right there in Kansas City, in some really nice, middle class neighborhoods, grandma be selling vegetables over here. Somebody be trading for eggs over here. Somebody got some barbecue pork for sale over here. There was no taxes. There was no government. You just bartered and traded and bought and sold from your neighbors. And now it's like if you want a farmer's market, it's maybe one day of the month. You got to travel, to go to one certain location. They've just put a stop to all of that stuff because health department and all this government intrusion into our lives. So that's one of the great things that I appreciate about Thailand. And yeah. Anyway, Thank you for that. I appreciate it because people do, and you're going to get it too when your channel grows. Like, oh man, how can you show that image? That's so wrong in so many ways, right? And I think the people that are watching this live, and there's definitely going to be a lot of people catch the playback. I think what you're saying is valuable. Is valuable that you're sharing your experience, and you're not wearing rose colored glasses. You're not a
Mm-mm.
flag waving Thai zealot and saying, "Hey, this country is perfect. There's nothing wrong here," right? No, it's not about that. But when you see something that you think only in our culture would we think that that's the wrong way to do it. Well, when you're in Thailand, you have to kind of let go of the cultural ways and the preconceived ideas that we have. I mean, if you want to assimilate here, you've got to understand their perspective and study their history. And like you say, you did your research. You evaluated the different locations that you might have chose for your home base, and you chose Thailand. So I really appreciate it. You want to elaborate a little bit more on your experience just traveling around and the overall freedoms of Thai people when it comes to being able to sell products or whatever. What's your thoughts on it?
I have no issue with the way they do that because that just means there is stuff always available. Like everything you need is usually within hand's reach. It's really great. Like I can just go outside in the front of my apartment and get a meal. There's going to be some kind of food stand just out there on the alleyway. So I love that. I love that they are allowed to do that and don't get hampered by the government, and they're not worried about health. You're speaking about food poisoning. The only time I've ever had food poisoning in my life was sitting in business class in Delta on a flight. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I've ate plenty of food in Thailand and managed to never get sick, but I got sick in a business class flight. But yeah, I like the openness of the society. I like the way they do their business here, and it might be a problem for some people. They don't. I don't know. The law enforcement isn't as strong on certain things that some people think it should be, especially like traffic is a big topic here. There are a lot of accidents in Thailand, but just be smart and kind of enjoy that freedom. That's what I really enjoy is just like you said, when you get out on the road here, you're free. You're free on the road. You're not going to get hampered anybody. There's not going to be, you don't have to worry about, the reds and blues showing up in your rearview mirror every 5 minutes. It's highly unlikely that that's going to happen. Highly unlikely. Matter of fact, if you do see cop lights on here, it's just the guy driving down the road. They just leave their lights on all the time. So it's not a big deal. But yeah,
Right.
never been a problem. I've passed many police here and going slightly over the speed limit, and they don't even give you a second look.
I've received 2 speeding tickets since I've been in Thailand for 5 years, and both of them were electronic camera, right?
Yeah.
So they got the radar and the camera. They clocked
Yep.
me, and both of them cost me 500 baht each. So 15
Yeah.
bucks. You mail it in, right? You get it in within that 30-day window after and they'll mail the ticket to your house. They get all that info off of your license plate, right? So yeah, it does happen, but I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not only the freedom, but also the safety. And I would like for you to speak to your experience in other Southeast Asian countries because I don't have the firsthand experience. But I can tell you that I went to South America and my Spanish was really, really good at the time. I really did a lot of research. And I went to Colombia, I went to Bogota, I went to Cartagena, Santa Marta, Barranquilla, all over the Caribbean coast, flew out to the Caribbean islands. And I'm going to tell you, I love Hispanic people and I love their culture. It's deeply Catholic culture down there. But I got to say, man, there is no way you would get me alone on a motorcycle traveling cross country in Colombia. It's not safe. There's a lot of areas where the government doesn't have control. You got narcos, you got armed gangs, right? You got a lot of things going on and you're a target, right? Now, I would like for you to elaborate on Southeast Asia in general, and not that you're going to be critical of other countries, but just compare the safety. Like I know that so many guys travel solo on a motorcycle all over this country, with the exception of the 3 most southern provinces down in the
Hmm.
Patani Malaysian border area where they've had skirmishes, military struggle down there for a long time. But other than that, what's your experience in Southeast Asia, and how does Thailand compare to say the Philippines and these other countries in regards to safety as a solo foreign traveler all by yourself? You could break down, anything could happen, right? So what do you think? Is there danger? Is there danger out there?
Yeah, I mean, there's danger anywhere, but in Thailand, and I don't want to call out any specific countries. I won't say that.
Okay.
What I'll say is my experience in Thailand has been safe. I've never been in a situation in Thailand where I felt completely unsafe. Like, oh, I should not go down this alley. I should not engage with those people. I should not go into that town. I should not go into that shop. I don't feel that, and maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's an unsafe attitude to have here, but I don't know. I've been traveling around the world for a long time, and this is one of the safest places I've felt like I've been in. So I don't go around, with that aura of doom or something bad is going to happen to me just because I'm going to go over here. Now, I feel very comfortable traveling around Thailand. Very receptive people, very friendly people. Just not had those issues, and you can tell if you're catching a bad, if you really, if the hairs are standing up on the back of your neck, then yeah, maybe don't go there. But I haven't really had a problem with that here at all.
It's amazing. Even in Bangkok, a city of 12 million and growing, bigger than the city of New York, right? As far as population, I see like schoolgirls, 14, 15 years old in their school uniform, walking alone at night in Bangkok. So it's amazing. Yeah. For yourself, there's a lot of cities, sister cities, you might say, that big of a metropolitan area. You, you, you don't do that, right? I mean, you got to
No.
be very careful, right? And like you say, that hair stand up on the back of your neck, and
Yep.
and then also now, I've been to the go-go bars. I've been down to Soy Cowboy, Nana Plaza, Phuket, Patong, Pattaya. Obviously, there's some clubs that a man can go out and enjoy with his friends, or even sometimes a guy brings his girlfriend with him. Right? Most of them are pretty high class places. Very very well decorated. Girls are wearing bikinis and stuff like that. But I try to could just place myself, okay, like if I was on Fremont Street and out in Las Vegas, right? So if I'm out there, or if I'm just to some random gentleman's club in the United States of America, okay, and I'm in this same scene that I'm watching here in Thailand, right? I'm kind of looking over my back for the guy that's drunk and wants to fight. You know what I mean? You kind of always have your guard up a little bit just because of where you're at. You're at a gentleman's club, or you're at some specific, red light area or something. So you're weary. But I gotta say, man, all of my experiences in Thailand, I've never seen a bad incident. Now there are people drunk and loud, but I've never seen a fight break out. In Kansas City, we like to fight sometimes. It's like it's just a natural thing. I mean, and so now as you get older, you want to avoid fighting, right? Number one, you can't do what you used to do, right? So
Mhm.
but you're always looking out for your friends, and if you got some ladies with you and you're out at the club and stuff, you have to keep an eye on things because there's aggressive people in there. you know have you had the experiences in these red light bars and stuff, and have you ever seen, I mean, you know what I'm saying, place that exact same bar that you're in and place it in the United States, and what do you feel about the safety of these guys that want to come over here and experience the entertainment zone? Walking the streets alone and that kind of thing.
Yep. Uh, don't be stupid. Remember, it's not your country, okay? And do not, and I absolutely cannot stress this enough, do not engage time in. Do not do it. If they get in your face, you need to remain calm and avoid that situation and walk away. Okay. They like to fight in packs, and it's nothing against them. It's just their style. It's how they do things, and you will find yourself in a very bad situation trying to argue with a Thai man. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. And it's not that it's dangerous to you, because it's only dangerous if you make it dangerous. So just walk away from the situation. If you need to get police or whatever, do whatever you got to do, but don't be in that situation and don't argue with them. If you get in a little traffic accident, you bump into a Thai person, remain calm, just talk. If they want to yell at you, let them yell at you. It's okay. But do not engage them. And that's probably my biggest warning when you come over here is remain respectful and just don't do it. Just don't do it. And I've seen a couple of people get beat up before. I've seen some fights and stuff, but usually it's between other ties. The biggest fights I've seen, it's always between other ties. They're, taxi drivers fighting other taxi drivers or something like that. The only foreigners I've seen are ones who are usually intoxicated and doing something they shouldn't be doing. So,
Right, right. Hey, man, that's great words of advice. I am so glad to have you today because you hit the nail on the head. It's like remember where you're at, guys, okay? Don't don't have that natural Western culture reaction where you show your frustration or you get loud, right? Sabai sabai is the word of the day here in Thailand, which just means chill out, relax, right? And like you say, if you're going to have a confrontation with a Thai man, I always say, I don't know how many it's going to take to whoop your butt, but I know how many they're going to use.
Yeah.
Which is enough to get it done. Okay. So I think that's such great advice, not only for the tourists who come here and they just have that level of respect, right? Even with somebody, now I've never had, Thai people be confrontational to me, but I'm always that laid back guy showing respect, Sawadee cop, right? And if I see some kind of a skirmish or an incident go down, I'm going to do exactly what you said, your advice. Walk away, man. Smile and walk away. There's no sense in getting yourself involved in a situation that is only going to turn out bad for you because I've seen some big guys in Pattaya. I mean, big guys, tattooed up, walking around with no shirt on. You never smile, got that, cocky attitude. And I think to myself, sir, you don't know where you're at because you're not going to have fun here with that attitude. You need to bring that smile, man. You sabai sabai. That's what Thai people are all about. So I appreciate that, man, because it's going to be so valuable to so many people. You hit the nail on the head. So let's get to some questions here. Larry Fornillier, great guy, and he wants to know how long do you think you will be in Thailand?
Well, right now I'm on a long-term visa, so I'll definitely ride that out. It could be several more years at least. And I'm in no rush to go anywhere, especially in the current situation that we're in. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm completely comfortable here. There's so much of Thailand that I want to see. I've just started to really get around the country, so yeah, I'm fine. I'll just be hanging here for at least a few more years.
Okay, great. Hey, I've got another question here. Great question from Steve Dice. So he's got some children that are mixed race. So his question: my sons are black as well as my best friend wants to follow me to Thailand for retirement. What kind of dating experiences do you think they will have?
Oh
So,
man.
how are Thai women receptive to the chocolate man in Thailand?
I can't imagine being a man. If I came here when I was like 18 or 19 years old, I'd probably have three wives by now. They will have zero problems, and they will probably have some of the most beautiful girlfriends that they could ever imagine having. And they will be the sweetest, kindest people, and they will be automatically accepted into their families as well. So they're going to be, they're going to have these Thai girlfriends, and they're going to have to call their mom. They're going to have a new mom. That's just going to happen. They're going to have a new mom and dad, and they're going to be hanging out and eating food there all the time. And yeah, I can't imagine being a young black man in Thailand. Wow, what a time that would be. You would have a great time here, and they will have no problems. They're going to have to get over that initial curiosity, but yeah, after that, it won't be an issue. It won't be an issue.
There you go, Steve. There you go, man. Getting it right from a man who's got experience firsthand. That's great. That's great. So I won't get too personal, but so you don't have three wives yet, or what's your status?
Anyway, next question. I got a travel buddy. I'll leave it at that. I got a travel buddy, and she's great.
Hey, man, that's good enough. Good enough, man. Good enough. Yeah, Bad Badger, great advice, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Let's see if I can get another question or two. Odessa, Texas in the house.
What?
So now I know when you was at the open mic and you dropped your pin on our world map, you put it up there in the Pacific Northwest. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in that amazing part of the world?
Yep, I grew up in Washington State before I joined the military. I was there for what, 18 years of my life in Washington. Washington was okay. I never had a desire to move back there, but yeah, growing up there as a kid, it was interesting. And I was raised in a very small town, predominantly a white city. So yeah, pretty much I was pretty much raised as a white kid, because I there was no other African American people in my town. So that's how I grew up. But I was accepted, despite it being a logging community and pulp mills and stuff like that. I was still accepted because that's where I grew up, and those are the people I know, and all my friends were obviously white, and it wasn't a problem. It was interesting growing up like that, and then when I came in the military, I had to, wow, now I'm around other African Americans, and it was an interesting experience growing up like that, So I've had an interesting life, growing up in that town and then changing to the military where it's you get a little everything in the military, and then I started world traveling. So I really think that's defined my life, is just adapting to different cultures, different ideas, and I think that's why I get along just fine overseas.
That's great, man. I'm so thrilled to hear about some of your background. I have kind of same experience. I grew up in Kansas City, and we're famous for barbecue. When I was a kid, we go to Quick's Barbecue. It was all run by African American family, and there was nothing special, just the best ribs in the world, right? And so they throw them ribs on there and put like a half a loaf of bread on top of the ribs and wrap that thing in full, and out the window you go, right? So that was my experience, but I didn't have a lot of close relationships with other races until I joined the military at 17 years old, and then my buddy, in the army they always assigned you a buddy. My buddy was African American from New York, so we couldn't have been completely opposites, right? And it grew into the best friendships I ever had in the world, and it changed me as a person. It gave me a different perspective in the military because you are integrated with one another, you living with one another, you counting on each other to have your six, and you ready to go. They're training you to go fight for your country, and you need that partner, you need that buddy system, right? So I
Yep.
think that's interesting, and the fact that you have all this world travel. Okay, I'm going to go full screen on me here just a minute. I'd like to get your comments. We can still hear you, James. So I'm looking at your channel here, and you've got some playlist already.
Yeah, getting it together, man, and trying to stay organized. And also, if people are going to come to my channel, I want them to be able to zoom in specifically on the type of content they're interested in. So if they just want to know about a certain part of Thailand that I've been to, or they're more interested in Pattaya, where I live, then I want them to be able to just click on that and go there. They don't have to be distracted by the other content that's on the channel. So yeah, trying to stay organized was a big focus for me right from the jump.
Absolutely. And one of the benefits of having those playlists is people that want to help increase your view hours because you're trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber
Yeah.
mark, but then you also need the 4,000 view hours, as Bad Badger
Mm.
can point out too. So you can go to a playlist, like even at night when you go to bed, turn the volume down and let those playlists run, right? So they just run one after another. And this is a way for people that are fans of yours, and I think you're going to have a lot of them. You already do, but to help you increase those view hours. So very smart design to your channel. I want to bring up one more screen here. So tell me, have you been up to Isan yet? Have you been to the farm
Nope.
country of Thailand?
Nope. And I have every intention of doing that, but not yet.
Okay, okay. Well, my wife is from Isan up in Udon Thani, and
Mm.
so here, let me go to this full screen. All right, yeah, it looked like 149 subscribers, so you definitely are growing, my friend, and well, that's the same playlist one, isn't it? I thought I had a different screen up there. Anyway, see. Let me go to a shared screen here for a second. I'm gonna bring you up some of your footage here and let people take a look at some of this stuff. Share that. Here we go. All right, so let's go down here to some of James's stuff, guys, and take a look. Let's scroll all the way down here when he was a newbie 2 months ago. Let's check this
Yeah.
out.
These were terrible.
Hey, chocolate man.
Yeah, this is why I still create stuff on the phone.
Yeah, man.
Vertical video.
That's all right. It's all right.
Yeah. Music was too loud.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's
It's
the
all
point of
good.
it, though,
All
right?
good.
That's the
But that's why
point
I
of it.
left them up there. Yep. I
Right.
even think I listed that as old videos don't watch or something like that.
Well, I've got a bunch of them
Yep.
too. Now, here's his newest one, guys.
By the shape of his head.
Hey, chocolate man.
Look at that sexy intro.
Past Interpretive Center. A little more history related to the River Kwai Death Railway. So we'll get some more information here. Nice facility. Got to do our little check-in here.
I'm going to skip through here just a little bit. I just want to
Yep,
give
and I
people
added-
some idea from your first video to your current
Yep.
video, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Look
we
at
got
this trail,
chapters
guys.
now. It's selectable. It's fun stuff. Yeah, the trail is beautiful.
Yeah, good stuff. And now it's buffering on me. There we go.
Nope.
So you
Yeah.
guys are interested in travel, and you can see he's going to take you into the jungle. He's going to give you the experience of being right there with him in Thailand, and he's going to give you. Look at that. See, even talking about how the mosquitoes, right?
Yeah, they were killing me.
So, guys, I just want to encourage everyone to go check out this channel and support this fine young man in his endeavors in the YouTube vlogging world. And let's see if I can find any more questions. Couple more questions, guys, and then we'll close it out. I know James got stuff to do. I got stuff to do. Look, I appreciate your time, James. I really, really do. And I wish you the best of luck in your future. And I know any man that comes over here with the attitude that you have is going to be successful. I think I can speak to my own experience. I came here for medical reasons. I suffer from a very rare autoimmune disease called chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy, predominantly sensory neuropathy. So that's kind of a mouthful, right? Anyway, that's the reason I came here. And chronic pain issues, chronic fatigue are the big things that I deal with daily. So I have to fight. I have to fight to get out of bed. I have to fight to push myself. And I never had anything like this in my life before. So it changed my life. And so coming to Thailand and having this tropical country, you got 3 seasons: hot, hotter, and hottest. That's basically what you got. So that really helps for a lot of us folks that do have chronic pain issues, because everybody knows if you break a finger in the middle of winter in the northern hemispheres, that hurts so much worse. Something about the cold, right? All the way to the bone, you're going to feel that pain. So there is definitely a healing benefit. So speaking to my own experience, my life has gotten better every year for 5 years. Now, I was very, very fortunate that I found my Thai wife, Nam Yen. She's just an absolute sweetheart, so genuine, and just loves people, always trusts people, whether they deserve that trust or not. She's just a great, great human being. So this has added so much to my life. Now, a lot of guys want to come over here and stay single. And I say kudos to you. Be smart about it, right? Be smart about it. There's good and bad people everywhere, as we know. But I just think that the audience, our channels are all about the viewer and the subscribers, right? We want to bring informative information about what it's like to live here in Thailand and Southeast Asia in general. So, James, I really, really appreciate you. Can you give us some closing thoughts, or let's just say advice for the new person that's thinking about coming to Thailand, long stay, right? They really want to do that, but they're afraid to take that leap. You know, they got reservations about how much money do I need and all that kind of stuff. So if you could just address that, and then we'll close it out. So what would you tell somebody, like if your best friend from back in the school day or back in the military was like, James, man, give me the heads up. What's it really like? And do you think, you know, I can, you know, just gather up, you know, $5,000 or $6,000 savings and come over there and maybe on a tourist visa, and then get a student visa conversion or convert into a business visa so I can work, right? Just tell people, like, what advice would you give that person that was wanting to make that leap and had the reservations about doing it? You know, there's a lot of fear for people that have never lived abroad, myself included, you know. So I'd appreciate your thoughts on that, brother.
Yeah, step one, just buy the damn ticket. Click the button right now. Go online and get the ticket. You know, as soon as you can get in the country, go buy that ticket because everything else will work itself out. Do your research, understand what's going on over here, and you're going to have no problems. I don't care if your budget is, 2,000 a month or 10,000 a month. You'll find a way to live in Thailand comfortably and do the things you want. If you're even considering moving to Thailand, you've already accomplished the first step. There was something about Thailand that made you want to move there. So you're already past that first step. So just go ahead and buy that plane ticket and figure the other stuff out before you get here. Give yourself a good month or two, do a little research, figure out what the housing's like, talk to your friends that are already here, or talk to guys like me, shoot me a PM. We can chat about it. Whatever, we'll make it work for you. If you really have a desire to come over here and check out this country for whatever reason, whatever your hobbies are or interests are, just make it happen today. Start making that forward progress. I think you'll be just fine. I didn't come over here with a super solid plan. I just knew that I think I need to give Thailand a try based off of what I know about it. And yeah, it's worked out great for me. It'll work out great for you.
All right. Thank you so much. And guys, everyone that's watching the playback, you can see the link to James's channel is up there. And I'll be sure and put it in the description box down below after this video is embedded on the channel. Hey, go there and check it out, man. If you like the content, subscribe. Why not? It's free, right? And James, do you have contact information if one of your subscribers wanted to send you a private message or an email in regards to specific details that they may not want to talk about in the public comment section?
Yep, you can hit me up on my Facebook, Chocolate Man in Thailand. You can hit me up on Instagram, Chocolate Man in Thailand. You can send me an email at Chocolate Man in Thailand, Google, Gmail. And that's easy. Any of those all have private messaging options where you can get a message to me directly. So not a problem.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to your next adventure down to Krabi. And that's you're going to bust your virginity on that trip, right? You've never been there.
Never been there. I'm looking so forward to it. It's going to be great.
I like the spontaneity that you bring into the vlogs. Like you don't preset stuff up. If you see something looks like an interesting stop, you come in and you bring us some footage, right? So I like when viewers experience things for the first time as you're experiencing it for the first time. I think it seems like more of a natural setting than trying to set things up before you go in there and film the footage for the viewers. So I appreciate your style, man. I appreciate the man that you are. I appreciate how you represent all of us that have decided to be expats here in the Kingdom of Thailand and immigrate into this country and try to assimilate, understand their culture, show respect to the people in the Kingdom of Thailand. I really appreciate you, man. Keep it up. What you're doing is going to work because you, sir, have charisma. You're genuine, you're authentic, and you've got that infectious, positive attitude, man. So I appreciate you coming on Triple T and getting introduced to my viewers. I think Bad Badger said that you are up to 155, sir. So the channel's going to be growing. Guys, I encourage you to watch the videos that he's got up and go to those playlists when you in your downtime. Turn that volume down, whether it's your mobile device or whatever, right? And let some of that stuff run. YouTube doesn't care if there's eyes on that device. They just care that those hours are being logged on the device. So remember that in any of these channels, especially the smaller channels that have yet to be able to get monetized. And again, James already told you, he doesn't have a desire to do this for a financial benefit. He wants to bring his skill set in photography and keep improving to entertain and bring information to the viewers. So it's not about monetization where, oh, I'm in a hurry to get that money symbol turned on because I want to earn. No, it's about once you get that monetization and that money symbol turned on, then YouTube helps promote your channel. You get in the algorithms. They can place ads on your stuff. So that's when you get the opportunity to bring your content to a broader audience. But in the meantime, it is a grind. So keep up the hard work, man. I have no doubt your brand new channel just since September. I think it's going to be a success, and kudos to you, sir. I appreciate you coming on today. Sawadee krap.
Sawadee krap. Can I just say thank you, brother? I really appreciate what you're doing. helping out other YouTubers is a huge thing, and just being a nice guy is great. And a big shout out to CJ for introducing introducing you to me, and for CJ for being an awesome guy. You know, I just love the community here. Just want to thank everybody. Thank all the new subs. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming by the page and checking it out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much, James. I'll be seeing you soon, man. I'll be seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
I know that you're going to do like reviews on American-owned bars in Thailand, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Like, what's your favorite bar in Thailand? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
I appreciate you, man. You have a great day. Right. Get on with your life, man, and keep doing what you're doing. And I know the Thai people are going to watch this video too, and they're going to watch your channel. So, you know, that's a thing that all of us need to be aware of, is a lot of people don't comment in your vlogs, right? But they're watching, you know, and so there's Thai people that do have eyes on us, and it's important that we represent ourselves in a respectful manner, and how we carry ourselves, right? And how we interact with the Thai people, especially when we got them on camera, right? So there's things that you and I might discuss off camera. That's great, right? All topics are on the table. But when that camera comes on, we got a responsibility to avoid, you know, a lot of the hot topics in Thailand, because we are guests here. And the future of Thailand is going to be determined by the Thai people, not us. So I appreciate your channel. Just having that same perspective that I have. It's like, look, you know, we could get into drama if we want to, but why do all that, man? Why do all that? The viewers are not going to be interested. The subscribers are not going to appreciate it. But yet at the same time, we're not painting some false picture of what life's like here in Thailand. We're giving people our real experiences, right? We just don't want to delve into their politics or their other stuff, right? So I appreciate you just being classy, man. You're classy, and I know that Thai people are watching you, and trust me, I've got some great Thai subscribers. They don't comment very often. They just don't, but they're watching, man. And so they see a person like you, African American, here representing all African Americans. In a way, that's the way they see you, you know. And like you said, ignorance, that's not a bad adjective, right? That just means lack of knowledge. So they don't have a lot of experience with the African American community or black folks in general. So I think you're cognizant of that, and what you're doing is just so important. It's so important for all of our expat community. And you touched on it. We are like a family now. A lot of people want to create drama between the different vloggers and all that nonsense. Don't listen to those people, okay? These big channels, man, they are busy. And so I've got the time. I'm a small channel. It's a hobby for me. And one of the things that I like to do is bring a spotlight to other YouTube channels that I enjoy, and I know other people are going to enjoy. So you can't judge all these other big vloggers, man. They are committed to their channels. It's a business for them, and kudos to them, to their success. Okay. So thank you, James. Thank you so much. Closing thoughts.
Hey, it was awesome. Had a great time. It was great to meet everybody. Glad for all the people that came in the chat and asked questions. If there's any questions I missed or you want to ask later, put them down in the comments there on Thomas's channel, and I will definitely read all of Thomas's comments and answer back. So if they're down there in the comments, I will definitely check them out. I think the chat might shut down, so put them down there in the comments so I can read and respond to them. But I had a great time. It was awesome. Teacher Thomas, you're the best. I really appreciate you doing this and inviting me on the show.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Have a good day. Yeah, guys, please put those comments after this stream is embedded on the channel in the comment section down below, and look in that description box for this link, because I want you to go over there and judge for yourself whether you like this channel or not. If you like the channel, subscribe, man. It's free. Okay. Share it with your friends. Share it with your friends. If you like it, you think this is a genuine, different perspective maybe than other channels, promote that stuff, man. Put it on your Facebook page, right? Share that link all over the place. It's only going to help the channel, right? And James, you deserve my attention today. I'm a fan, buddy. I'm a fan, and anything I can do for you outside when the camera's off, right? Hey, we're family, man. We're family, okay?
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. I feel the same way.
Have a great day, brother. See you guys.
Too,
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Peace and love to everyone. Triple T with James, Chocolate Man in Thailand, signing out.